Hey there, this is Dustin Sky. This will be a quick overview and how-to of my newest fogger kit. It's the Target Mini Fogger Kit. It uses the Vaporesso Target Mini Starter Kit for the vape unit, and then my 3D printed fogger, and I've got a base and then 2 tubes. So everything you see here comes in the kit. So I'll show you what comes inside the box here. Pull tab. Open this up, and inside you've got 2 sections. Inside here you've got the battery and the tank. Inside this section you've got your USB charging cable, some instructions, and a spare coil inside. So comes with a nice USB charging cable, some spare O-rings, a spare coil. Now this coil, just to be clear, may not be suitable for using in this fogger. This is a mouth to lung coil, so it's more restrictive. It would probably work. I haven't actually tried it out yet, so I can't say for certain, but this is intended for people that want to draw the vape into their mouth and then into their lungs, as opposed to direct to lung, which is the coil that comes in it and the coil that I have installed right now. Anyway, it's a spare and it may work. I just haven't tried it out. I'm going to set this stuff aside for now. Now, inside here you'll see there's a spare drip tip. Oops, let me get a little closer. It's a spare drip tip. This drip tip is intended to be used with the spare coil. It's more restrictive, and to be honest, it doesn't have any use in this kit as far as it comes to using it for fogging, making bubbles with fog in them. Okay, so tank is turned on by pressing the fire button right here 5 times in quick succession. That's pretty much how every vape unit I've ever used, in fact it is how every single vape unit I've ever used is turned on. So just 5 quick presses and it comes on. And I'm not sure if I've got this in focus. I'll try here. It tells you what wattage it's set to, your battery life. What else does it show? Oh, the ohm rating of whichever coil or tank you've got on there. Okay, so that's turned on. Here's the tank, and this is my own personal unit, the one I used to develop this kit with. So I've already got it filled up with glycerin. I use 100% veggie glycerin. It makes the most amount of fog, the densest fog. You can mix it with a little bit of distilled water if you want it to be a little thinner, but it will make less dense fog. So just screw this on clockwise, as most things go. I'm going to go ahead and turn this off while I show you the rest of this demo until I'm ready to actually show how this thing works. So 5 quick presses, and oh, I did not. Oh, it's asking me when you put a new when you put your tank on for the first time, or if you change your tank, it's going to ask you a question. New load, old load, and then it says new load plus, old load minus. This button right here on the side, this is minus, this button is plus, and this button is the button used to change modes. This is a old coil, it's the same one I've been using, so I'll press this button on this side right here, and it's ready to use. Now I can turn it off. And it's off. This tank has a child safety feature as part of its design. So it's a little bit unusual in that to get it apart, you turn, okay, this drip tip comes off. You can leave it on or off to refill the tank or change the coil. It doesn't really matter. But to get inside the tank to refill it, the first thing you need to do is unscrew this. There's a sort of a knurled section underneath of the drip tip, and that unscrews by turning it clockwise, which is the complete opposite of most threading. But anyway, so you unscrew it, you can set that aside, and then to get either to refill your tank or to change the coil, hold on to the base of your tank and then screw this section with the air holes counterclockwise. Now it is adjustable, the airflow is adjustable by twisting this. There's a couple of slots here. If you twist it all the way counterclockwise, it's super restrictive, and that's, you'd use that for with the other coil for the mouth to lung. If you keep on going past that point, it's hard to turn, but it does turn, and that's how you remove this top section to fill it up with glycerin or to change your coil. So down inside here are two slots, one on this side, one on this side. Like I said, I've already got this filled with glycerin. So to fill this, you would just take your bottle and put the tip into the slot and fill it up until it's just below the slot itself. And it would be a good idea to go ahead and put some drops inside the center there on top of the coil to get it primed. To change out the coil, it's super easy. You just grab the top and pull it straight out. There's a little notch, there's a little protrusion on the side of the coil. I'm not sure if my camera will focus. I'll give it a try. See, nope, it won't. So right here, there's a little bump that sticks out, and inside of the tank, there's a little tab that sticks up. So this needs to go in, and you just turn the tank until, actually, yeah, so there's a little slot is what it is in the side of, I'm sorry, I said a bump, but there's a slot in the side here of the coil. There's a little tab that sticks up in the tank. You just match up the slot to the tab, push it down in. It doesn't twist, just pushes down. And then you put your the top of the tank back on by screwing it clockwise until it's nice and snug. There's that. And then this part just screws back in. And remember, the threading is backwards, so to screw it on, you have to go counterclockwise, which is odd, but it's what they've done. And as soon as you turn this thing back on, you're ready to put the fogger collar on top of the fogger. Now, I spilled a little glycerin when I was taking the top off, and I'm going to recommend that if you have any glycerin on the outside of your tank, that you wipe it clean so you have a clean, dry tank before you put the fogger on top of it, because the O-ring will get extra slippery and your fogger won't want to stay on top. I'm including this lanyard clip on the fogger itself. Don't have to leave it on there. If you want to take it off, just grab on either side, put thumbs on either side here, and it comes off like that. Putting it back on is just the opposite. So you see an arrow on top. Skinny tube goes in the hole that it fits in, because it can't go, it won't fit on the other side, as well as the blow tube. The blow tube only goes on the one side. Then and this just simply gets pushed down on top, and it's ready to go. I have included this little base. It only goes on one way. It should be pretty obvious from the shape of the base and the shape of the hole of this that yeah, it only goes on one way. There's some little tabs that stick out that keep it locked in place, so it's not going to fall off on you accidentally. It'll help keep it from getting knocked over if you bump it. So then, to use this thing, just hold the fire button down while you blow into the big fat tube, and the fog comes out the skinny tube. I think I've covered it, everything. I can recommend that if you're buying replacement coils for this unit to make sure that you get the lowest resistance ones that are available. I think there's 0.5 and 0.6 ohm. Get the 0.5 ohm because the 0.6, as I've mentioned, is intended for mouth to lung and not for direct to lung, so it will be possibly too restrictive. Okay, I hope this was helpful, informative. Happy bubbling.